Today we're gonna talk about sand casting. Definition: casting. Casting is a manufacturing process in which a liquid material is usually poured into a mold, which contains a hollow cavity of the desired shapes and then allowed to solidify. The solidified part is also known as casting, which is ejected or broken out of the mold to complete the process. Casting materials are usually metal or various time-setting material that cure after mixing two or more components together. Casting is most often used for making complex shapes that would be otherwise difficult or uncommercial to make by other methods. Heavy equipment like machine tools can be cast easily in required size rather than fabricating by joining several small pieces. Sands and sand conditioning. Four requirements of sand used in casting, which are refractoriness, ability to withstand high temperatures, cohesiveness, ability to retain shape, permeability, ability of gases to escape through the sand, collapsibility, ability to accommodate shrink and part removal. The size of sand particles, amount of agent, moisture content, and additive are selected to obtain sufficient requirements. Green sand. Green sand mixture is 88% silica, 9% clay, and 3% water. Each grain of sand needs to be coated uniformly with additive agent.
Topic: Patterns and pattern materials. What is pattern? In casting, a pattern is a replica of the object to be cast, used to prepare the cavity into which molten material will be poured during the casting process. Design and construct the pattern is the number one step in casting. For pattern selection, it is determined by the number of casting, size and shape of casting, desired dimensional precision, and molding process. There are three types of pattern material. The type of pattern material which is wood patterns, metal patterns, and hard plastic. For wood pattern, it is cheap but not dimensionally stable. For metal pattern, it is expensive but more stable and durable. For the type of pattern, we will only learn about one piece or solid pattern. The type of pattern is selected based on the number of castings and the complexity of the part. One piece or solid pattern are used when the shape is relatively simple and the number of casting is small. The solid pattern is the simplest type of pattern, exactly like the desired casting.
I'm going to move to the process of sand casting. First and the most important thing is we need to melt the metal. When the metal is melting, prepare the mold. First, put the pattern and the green sand mixture on the half of the mold and then compress it with hand compacting method. And then put the other half of the mold with runner and green sand mixture and then compact it using the same method, which is hand compacting method. And then we combine the both of the mold and then tie it together. After the metal is melted and the mold is complete, pour the molten metal inside the mold. After that, let the molten metal solidify completely and we can remove the mold. After that, let the molten metal solidify completely and we can remove the mold. Finally, for the finishing, we can use grinding or etc. to make the final product.
Advantages and disadvantages of sand casting. There are several advantages in the sand casting process. Almost any ferrous or non-ferrous alloy can be used for sand casting. As long as the alloy can be melted, it can be used. Because of this, there are more choices for sand casting byproduct material, which can be dependent on the material's cost or quality depending on the manufacturer's choice. In sand casting, almost a lot of size and shapes can be implemented. The size and weight can range from a few millimeters and grams to meters and tons. Internal structures can be cast using the use of cores. Because of this, complex shapes with hollow insides can be casted using sand casting. The use of sand as the mold lowers the tooling cost. Especially limited quantity products can be really cost effective when using a sand mold when compared to using a permanent mold in other variants of casting. For certain products such as fences, which only requires one side of a mold, sand casting can be the fastest and most efficient way to cast it. On top of that, for longer repetitive products such as fences, the mold can be easily duplicated.
There are several types of sand casting that's advantage, but I will only list the most common one. Okay, first, most casting defects are more casting defects. Green sand mold is a kind of soft mold which make it not hard enough as the resin cells, sand molds and shell molding. So like any other metallurgical process, defects or quality variations such as shrinkage, porosity, pouring, metal defects, surface defects are unavoidable. Okay, second is low dimensional accuracy. No back molding can deliver better dimensional accuracy and repeatability than green sand molding, since the green sand will have larger shrinkage. The casting dimension will have larger change during molding and cooling periods, which on average provide less precision than other common casting processes. Third is poor surface finish. Sand casting tends to deliver a rougher surface finish than other casting processes due to its internal sand molding wall surface texture. That point may be debatable if certain surfaces are machined away or if surfaces in the as-cast condition are acceptable. And fourth is some safety hazard to human and environmental problem. Sand casting is a process that requires large tolerance. As the manual flow molding, the worker skill will have key effect to the casting quality, which also involve their safety hazard and environmental problem. Thank you.
Now, I'm going to talk about defect on sand casting. Firstly, we have cut and washes. Cut and washes is rough spot and areas exist metal. This is due to the erosion of sand molding. Number 2, we have sand expansion. This defect is due to a large or flat surface on the mold. It happens when the molten metal touches the mold, the flat surface of the mold, and the sand expands, and it will affect the dimension of the product. Last but not least, we have metal penetration. Metal penetration is when molten metal enters the gap between the sand. It is due to the sand that too coarse. Maybe it is because the mixture of the green sand is not perfect.